Heavenly Father, we come to you in this hour, asking for your guidance and protection to our virtual gathering today. We thank you for the gift of life, the gift of family, the gift of work, and the gift of friendship. We thank you for this great opportunity to bring us together in this session as brothers and sisters. Bless the committee, the facilitator, and the attendees of this gathering. May we continue to value and appreciate the true essence and meaning of life with the help of your grace. And as we go along to our discussion today, we humbly pray that you would deepen our understanding. Lord, enlighten us and give us wisdom every day. Forgive us for our shortcomings and remind us to always be mindful of the things we do in life. We offer our life and our decisions to you, O Lord. May this gathering today create a memorable experience and a fruitful outcome. We ask this through our Lord Jesus Christ, our Redeemer and our Savior. Amen.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, we will dive into the fascinating world of leveraging generative AI for effective assessment and feedbacking in educational settings. As we know, timely and personalized feedback is crucial for fostering an environment conducive to meaningful learning experiences. Today, we will explore how generative AI can revolutionize the assessment and the feedback process, paving the way for a more inclusive and engaging educational journey. So here, our upscaling for this afternoon will focus on assessment and feedbacking using generative AI. So we are your facilitator. I am Fredly Bukog, and together with me is Mr. Jade Montemayor. So I will be doing the first part, which is the assessment using generative AI. So good afternoon to our online participants. Thank you for spending time with us for this upscaling session. So have you heard of using generative AI in assessment for our online participants? May I know your responses if you heard about generative AI in assessment, or do you integrate generative AI using assessment in the classroom? You can use the Zoom chat box if you encounter integrating generative AI in the assessment process. Okay, so let's check. So thank you, Sir Larry. Okay, not much yet. Okay, so today you will particularly try to rethink your assessment methods in the classroom by the use of generative AI. This is somewhat to support the learning process of our students as well as the basis for our for us in teaching and learning in the classroom. So as we all know, assessment is a crucial aspect of educational system. So it could be done in formative or summative assessment. So it is essential to evaluate students' learning progress and provide feedback to both the students and the teachers as well. So however, traditional methods of assessment are often time consuming, and the grading particularly in the subjective tasks is example, we have an essay, so it can be more a bit challenging and time consuming in grading. So this is where generative AI comes in. So generative AI is a form of artificial intelligence that uses algorithms to create original content. So it can help educators and rethink assessment by providing an objective, efficient, and personalized way of evaluating student work. So in this workshop, we will explore how generative AI can transform the assessment process and benefit students, teachers, and education as a whole. So particularly, our assessment using generative AI will hit these three uh, parts. So here, assessment in education using generative AI can be conducted in various ways. So leveraging the capabilities of AI to generate and evaluate student responses. So here are some common methods. So we have automated question generation. Then we have AI generated assignments, or it could be performance tasks or a certain activity that is good for that particular duration of time, and then hitting the learning outcomes in that particular lesson. And then we also have the automated essay scoring. So particularly, these are the responses of our students. So using that particular rubric in that particular assessment, a form of assessment, we can now see the grade based on hitting the right criteria. So particularly, we are using a generative AI to grade that particular assessment. So we will dig deeper with these three concepts of assessment using generative AI. So we will make use of Chat GPT. So I hope you already have your Chat GPT account. You can have your institutional account for that Chat GPT, but this part is only limited. So if you want to have the higher version of Chat GPT, like Chat GPT 4, so we have uh, a feature for that, but that is paid. So we will use only the ChatGPT 3.5 version. So our topic of this particular generative AI will revolve in these three concepts. The assessment in the form of giving automated question generation with our particular story or particular content in our lesson. And then we will go to the AI generated assignments based from our title or topic. And then we can give the automated essay scoring. Particularly, this would also entail the feedbacking or personalized feedbacking for that particular assessment. So we will focus first with the first assessment using generative AI, which is automated question generation. So here, the automated question generation, generative AI can be used to create a diverse set of assessment questions. So it could be subjective, subjective or objective question type. So this includes multiple choice, short answer, and essay type question. So here, when we're talking automated question generation, so AI algorithms can analyze the learning objectives and generate questions that align with the curriculum or the topic. So it ensuring a comprehensive assessment of students' knowledge and skills based on your given prompt or questions from the chat GPT. So to do that, we now go to the chat GPT. So I will just stop share, and then I will just share my screen to the chat GPT interface. Okay, just give me a minute. And then you can also browse the chat GPT. This is the website found in the chat box is the website of chat GPT. So from here, okay, so I will just share my screen first. Okay, I hope you can see now the screen, the interface for the ChatGPT. So here, so I will just and stop share screen, and then I will just share the entire screen for this part. Okay, so I hope you can see now the ChatGPT interface. So here, so again, we are using the GPT 3.5 version. Okay, and then we have also GPT version 4. So we have a paid version if you want to upgrade that particular generative AI. So here, I have here a series of notes. If you can see here, I have a file. Okay. So this is my example file. If you can see, so this is in Word. So for instance, our scenario is we will make an automated, okay, we will make an automated question generation. So that means that is based from our content provided. So here, this is the lesson, okay? This is the lesson about a particular lesson of health informatics. So let's say here, this will be our lesson. So we just simply copy the content. This is the content of our lesson. So example, this is from lesson 1, okay? And then our objective for that part is we will create questions, okay? We will create a question. Um, it could be multiple choice, short answer, or essay question, depending on this particular content that we are going to provide in the chat GPT. So all you need to do is just simply copy this particular file, and then from that, okay, so this is the message, okay, the message box in the chat GPT. So here you can make first a prompt. So let's say example, can you, okay, I will make it bigger. Can you make, can you make 10 uh 10 multiple choice questions with this content. So colon. So this will be your prompt, okay? And then you just provide right away the content. So this is the content. So which I copy this is from my file. And then you have here, can you make a 10 can you make 10 multiple choice questions with this content? So if you click the prompt, if you click the the arrow button, so that means that you are ready to go to this particular for this particular prompt. So you just click that one, and then automatically it will generate to you the response. So let's make it this this is the start of making the response, the chat GPT part. So let's just scroll down. Okay, so here, so we can automate the questions generation from our given content. So we have here the question. Okay, so in this part, so we need, of course, the answer key. So you can also communicate ChatGPT with this one. Provide answer key to it. So we have here, this is the answer key. If you want to have a rationale, so let's say provide answer key to it and rationale for each questions. Let's see if the ChatGPT can provide this particular prompt. Okay, as you know here, we can see that we have this one. Okay. So here, the answer is C, and then this will be the rationale. Okay, so you have two options right here. So it's up to you of how you're gonna use. And then here is the rationale of that particular question. So let's see again. This is in multiple choice. So let's ask ChatGPT. Can you provide 5 questions? Can you provide 5 questions in short answers? Short answers with the given content above. Let's see if ChatGPT can respond to this particular prompt. Okay, can you provide 5 questions in short answers with the given content above? And then it will generate. Okay, so we have 5 questions. And then here, can provide me the answers to it. So we have here, we have also the key answer for our question in short answers. So again, the important thing there is you can you communicate ChatGPT, but again, you must validate the question itself regarding this particular question generation, automated question generation in ChatGPT. Again, this particular question is generated from your content, okay, from here. Okay, so that's basically giving of providing automated question generation. So you can have it in objective type or in subjective type or in the form of essay. So questions or clarifications regarding automated question generation. So you can use the chat box or you can use the raise hand icon and then unmute yourself if you have question regarding this concept of providing automated questions, question generation. So I will give 2 minutes if to formulate your questions if you have. So this is the overview of our first concept of assessment using generative AI. So we have a prompt and then we just simply provide the content or our particular story to this chat GPT prompt. And then automatically it will provide you the response according to your questions or prompt. And then you can communicate with ChatGPT by following this particular or additional instructions, how to do with this particular question, or how to create another question type. Okay, so so we have here, can it also provide a rubric for a certain performance task? Yes, Doc, Doc Torres, we will show to you as well as how to provide assessment rubrics in the form of analytic and holistic. We will do also that one. Okay, so thank you, Doc Viola. So that's the first concept. It's basically you provide the content or the story to the chat GPT, and then you can have the automated question generator. So you can have it multiple choice, true or false, short answer, or essay. So now let's proceed with the next part. Okay, so we have here. So the next part is the request of Dr. Viola. So this is AI generated assignments or activities slash performance tasks. So AI can customize or AI can generate customized assignments tailored to individual students' learning needs and proficiency levels using assessment rubrics. It could be holistic or analytic, and then you will provide a feedback for that. So here, in this particular concept, AI generated assignments slash performance tasks slash activities, by analyzing students' performance data and learning patterns, so the AI system can create a personalized assignments that target specific areas for improvement, fostering a more effective and tailored learning experience. So based from your learning outcomes, uh, based from the topic, and then the duration. It could be good for 1 hour or 20 minutes and so on. So the chat GPT or the generative AI will just provide you the detailed title of the performance tasks and then the activity as well as the rubrics. So all we need to do is first is this is the scenario is we will create a classroom performance task uh, that talk about this particular concept, and then we will respond to our learning outcome, and then we will specify also the activity that is good for, let's say we have 1 hour or 20 minutes. So you just state the topic and etc. So example your instructions to it, brief instructions, and then also include the proving rubrics that will measure according to the learning outcomes based from your performance tasks. So to do that in action, so I will just open again with the chat GPT. Okay, so here we will make another prompt. So we will create a new chat with chat GPT. So let's hear. So this is a new prompt. Okay. So for instance, this is your questions. So I will make it bigger so that you can see clearly. Okay. So for example, create a classroom performance task about this particular topic. Okay. So the activity is good for how many durations? So in my case, so I give it 1 hour. So following the learning outcomes. So this will be the learning outcomes of my lesson. So this is first learning outcome, second learning outcome, and then third learning outcome. So let's give that one as a prompt first, and then we will have the follow up questions for our performance task. So this will be our performance task. So let's click the go signal. So we have here the that particular prompt give us the title. So we have the title, we have the interactive educational video creation with H5P, and then we have the duration, and then we have the learning outcomes, and then we have the task overview, and then we have the task instructions, and then we have here the designation of that particular minutes. So the division. So we have phase 1 that's good for 20 minutes, and phase 2 that is good for 20 minutes again, phase 3 20 minutes, and then submission. And then we have also the evaluation criteria. So we will dig deeper to it later. Okay. So in this part, so this is somewhat that particular performance task in the teacher's perspective. So now if we want it to display in our virtual classroom, so let's make it have a detailed instructions to our student. So let's say you have a you can have a question like here, provide a detailed task instructions to the students. So let's click here. So this is your prompt, the next prompt, second prompt. So we have here detailed instruction. Okay, so that's the detailed instruction. And then here, so we have here the detailed instruction. So in this, we have here the task overview. So here we have the detailed instruction for this phase 1, phase 2, and then phase 3, and then the submission part. Okay, so we will make a rubric. So in this part, if we have this part, this is the evaluation criteria. So we will make a rubric like analytic rubric. Okay, can you provide can you provide analytic rubric for this? Can you provide analytic rubric of that? So let's see here. So as you notice, so we have here the ChatGPT can also give the analytic rubric for this one. So we have here following the criteria, and then we have the level. So the description, so we have excellent, good, fair, poor, and then the performance indicators. And these are the components. Okay. And then we have the overall presentation demonstration. So we can see now that we have here the detailed, we have our performance tasks, and then here we have our performance tasks, and then we have here the title, the display of the performance task content in the teacher's perspective, and then we provide detailed instruction to our students, and then we can have the analytic rubric for this particular scenario of the performance task. So questions or clarifications in this part? Questions or clarifications? You can use you can try in your own station. So let's hear. Uh, can you let's have another question. Can you compile compile those? Can you compile those? Let's say merge those performance. Can you merge those performance tasks? And so let's have here. We have another prompt. Okay, it merged. Let's see if this merged, and then we provide this particular. Okay, so this is will be the scenario of the performance task. So merging the content from the above example of the performance task, and then next is we just simply follow this particular analytic rubric for that assessment. So that is AI generated assignments, integrating performance tasks as well as the assessment rubric that is in analytic rubric. If we do it holistic rubric, so in that particular concept, so that is it will grade that particular assessment in one particular grading. Okay, this is particularly the output based. So that's how you integrate the performance task with that particular assessment rubric. And again, all you need to do is just evaluate if this particular rubric also fits to your learning outcomes, intended learning outcomes. Okay, so that's AI generated assignments. So now let's proceed with the last part of this particular assessment using generative AI. So I will just stop share screen. So for instance here, so we will do the last part. So here, this will be the last part in the assessment using generative AI. So we will use the automated essay scoring. So here, AI-powered system can assess and score essays based on predefined criteria and rubrics. So as of the moment, the ChatGPT can score a text-based assessment, and then that is based from your rubrics or criteria being set. So here, let's have this one in action. So we open again ChatGPT. Okay, so we add another prompt or another question, so another chat. So here, so I already prepared some questions. For instance, let's say I just simply copy this particular question. Okay, so again, our objective this one is to give the automated essay scoring or the response of our student work based on our given assessment. So for instance, we will go first chat with the chat GPT. So this will be our scenario. Okay, so I have assigned my students to write an essay reflecting on their personal experience. So discovery and specific learning visiting an industrial spot that is relevant to their study topic. So prepare an assessment rubric that can assess the important aspect of essay composition and at the same time assess the reflection on their personal experience, discovery, and learning from the visit. So the rubrics should be in a tabular form and cover a maximum of 15 points. So that will be your scenario. So that is your prompt. So let's see. We will see if the ChatGPT prompt for creating an assessment rubric with this particular assessment. Okay. So we have here. Okay, so we have here the assessment. So this is the assessment rubric. So we have the criteria, the description, and then the points. So all in all, we have 15 points. Okay. So here, since we already have the criteria, so our next part is we will evaluate the student work. Okay. So we will just simply, in this part, we have this particular scenario, and then we will just give a task description to it, and then as well as this particular criteria, and then we place it to our virtual classroom, or we just simply write it in a piece of paper, and then we give it to our students. And then in this part, so we will just evaluate the responses. So for example, we will evaluate this response. So by making this first prompt question. So here, so following the above rubrics, please assess and score the following essay. I want you to be really critical during the assessment process and identify the scopes of improvement. So in this part, so let's say here, this will be the work from my student. So I will just simply copy and paste. This is the work of my student. So as you notice, so here, so you can see the response, okay? So we have here, this is your prompt this is your prompt. So following the above rubrics, so again here, so this is the response from my learner. So this is the concept for the student work of my learner. And then this is the criteria being evaluated based from the above rubric. So we have the points is 2, and then we have here this particular score. So we can have a personalized feedback based from this part. So to know more about feedbacking, so I will now turn over to you to Sir Jade. But before turn over the screen to Sir Jade, so do you have questions regarding those three concepts in my part regarding the assessment? So the first part, if if you still recall, is we have first in this part, so we have uh, an automated question generation, and then we followed with the second part, so which is AI generated activities. And then the last one is we have what we call the automated essay scoring. So questions or clarifications before I will turn the screen to Sir Jade for the feedbacking using generative AI. You can use the Zoom chat box, or you can use the the reactions like raise hand reaction, and then you can unmute yourself if you have questions in my part. So I'm particularly focusing on the assessment using generative AI. So again, generative AI provides you the content generation. So again, it's up to the teacher to evaluate the content made by generative AI, if that is for ethical consumption, as well as the proper regulation of those particular assessment. So you need to have you need to double or triple or check thoroughly that particular AI generated content based from your assessment type. So those are simply the tips in how to generate responses from ChatGPT regarding your automated question generation. And then we have the AI assessment as AI assignments, performance tasks slash activities generation. And of course, the last one, we have the automated scoring, uh, automated scoring. We have automated scoring essay. Okay, so we have here. So we have a sentiment from College of Education. So I feel glad that generative AI could come up with a specific set of rubrics based on a detailed, specific prompt. So however, I feel uncomfortable asking a generative AI to rate the student's essay. So the student grades are at stake here. So uh, if I have yet to double check the AI assessment, I might as well I'll do it myself. Okay. So again, this is somewhat this is to support also the learning experience, and then for our teaching part, but teaching part in education. So again, you must validate uh you must validate as well as the grading of the student work. Okay. So I can teach 20 classes every semester. So what is the downside in using ChatGPT given the topics this afternoon? So again, in this part in assessment, so in generative AI, so uh, you cannot have the statement like generative AI content is plagiarized. So in that part, so it is not wala pa ni siya na institutional or other particular organization said that generative AI is not plagiarism content, but is in this part. So it is made for us to support the student learning experience. But again, the ethical issue is there in the generative AI. Of course, if that particular content is copyrighted, so again, it is basically abide with those law. So in this part, so you need, as a teacher, is you need to validate the resources or that particular questions generated by AI if that hits to your intended learning outcome. So again, for if you have questions or clarifications before I will turn the virtual floor to Sir Jade. So don't worry because the issues and the downside of using ChatGPT is also uh, found in your virtual classroom, the faculty training room. So we have our issues and concerns using ChatGPT there. So this is that is the previous upscaling part. So I hope that answers your question, Dr. Torres. Okay, thank you. So at this point, so I will now turn the floor to Sir Jade to continue the feedbacking using the generative AI. Sir Jade?
Thank you, Sir Fred. Good afternoon, everyone. Maayong hapon sa tanan, no? I'm going to continue about discussing feedback using generative AI. So as what Sir Fred mentioned earlier, we can basically create a scratch or an assessment from scratch and basically check the submissions of the student with that particular platform. So the platform itself will going to help you create the assessment and also will going to help you check the assessment. So that's kumbaga, it's a great aid on the teacher's part, especially if you have like multiple classes and then you have you have a lot of students no, and then you want to save time. But then again, using AI, it really depends on your ano, it really depends on you if you're going to use AI to check the assessments or if you're just gonna do it yourself. It really depends on the on your conviction in using AI. Sige. So, since Sir Fredly talk about creating assessments with generative AI, and then basically checking it with generative AI. So, what if the students are going to use generative AI as well in terms of their submission? So, how do we filter? How do we make sure that the students are submitting an original content, especially if these are essay questions or um, some sort of long prose writing. So how do we again how do we check, how do we filter out submissions or content made entirely by AI? So today I know that we had an upskilling about turn it in, but then again I'm going to highlight the AI function of turn it in to basically help teachers, to help us filter out or to help us check if a certain content is generated by an AI or not. Sige. So let me just share my screen. This one. Okay. Okay. So I hope my screen is visible now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simulate a simple activity, as simple as an assignment. So I'm going to create an assignment and then I would pretend that I'm the student and basically just generate the answer of the assignment out from AI. And let's see what are the platforms that could help us teachers filter out which part of the submission or basically which part of or which submissions are generated by AIs or yeah, AI. Okay, so I'm just gonna create here an assignment. The usual part of creating an assignment. I'm pretty sure you're an expert now in creating activities like assignments. So I'm just gonna name this sample assignment. Okay, and then I think I have to wait. Okay, so my question would be, sige, yanan na lang siya. Okay, what is the effect of the economic status of a country to the quality of its education? So that's a simple question. I understand that for current setup of assignment, you now have two boxes, one for the description and one for the actual instruction. But in this case, I will just be using the description since the instruction is optional. So before the upgrade from Moodle 3 Moodle 3 to be exact, there's just only one box here. But right now we now have two, one for the description, one for the instruction. But then again, I'll just be using this one. So aside from the description, which is required by the way, what I'm going to change here is just this one, the turn it in. So I'm just going to enable turn it in. By default, turn it in is disabled. So I'm going to enable turn it in. And then when a student creates a submission or submits a submission to this particular assignment, it will then be checked by turn it in. Okay. So immediately, and then that's it. I'm just gonna click save and return to course. Okay, so that's our assignment. That's on the teacher side. So sige, naka-create na si teacher of assignment. So here I am as a student. I'm going to add now submissions to this particular assignment. So si student, once he can now, or he or she can now access the assignment, he will then open the assignment and then just copy the question. Just copy the question and just go to ChatGPT. Chat Okay, and then in just a split of a second, just create a new chat, paste the question directly. They can do that, and then let ChatGPT generate the answer. Okay. So if you notice, most of the time, ChatGPT answers in number format. Like this one. It says number one, there are key points, number one, number two, and so on and so forth. So I would just ask ChatGPT to convert this answer into a long prose writing format. Can you convert this into a long prose writing format? Okay, there. Let's just say that the student is aware that turn it in can actually or cannot detect, no, in terms of the AI function actually does not work with any other text format but prose text. So here it's converting it, and then I'm just going to copy this one, paste it in Word file. Okay, then probably made some adjustment. So let's pretend that in terms of adjustment, it's just the spacing and nothing is removed or nothing is added. Let's just continue with this one. Okay, I'm just gonna save it. Okay, there. So I'm just going to save this here in my downloads folder as a sample submission. Okay, so that's it. So there you go. So in just less than 1 minute, given the current question, the student now has a submission. He or she can now submit his or her, let's just say, pretend work to your assignment. So I will go back to my course if I'm the student, and then I'm just going to add submission. So add submission, and then I'm just going to upload the file. Choose file. This one, open file, and then upload. Okay, that's it. Save changes. Okay. So this is the teacher's view. If you'll notice, you have the list of students enrolled in your course, for example, for this particular assignment. And then you now have the file submission on this column somewhere here. Let me just zoom in. This is the file submissions column. And if you'll notice, you have the name of the file that was submitted. And then it says here queued. So meaning it's now queued in Turnitin system. So it would take, it depends on how busy the system of Turnitin is. Usually it would take around 3 to 5 minutes to process a submission. So while waiting for that, let me introduce also some platforms that would help us detect which content are generated by AI. By the way, we are just talking about text content, word content. So which platforms, what platforms can help the teacher detect an AI generated content, text content, aside from Turnitin, which is a built-in plugin in our MySoul platform. So we also have chat uh, zero. Let me just open the website. This one. I'll I'll just send the link in the Zoom chat. So this system, it's a free system, and then it's basically designed to detect any text generated, any AI text generated content. So if you have this one, even if you don't have Turnitin, you can use Zero GPT. So you can just copy and paste any content that you think is probably generated by an AI. And then you can just paste it here. And then in just a matter of seconds, it depends on how busy the system of Chat Zero is, it will give you a result. So like, for example, let's go back to our submission. Let me open this one. So this is our sample submission, right? I'm just gonna open this. Okay, so this is it. It says here that I have 551 words. And what's good about Zero GPT is that you can use, or the maximum number of characters that can be processed by the system is 15,000 characters. So that's a lot. So let me just copy this. Sample submission. Okay, I'm just gonna copy everything and paste it here. Okay, and then just simply click detect text. And it's now processing the text. And it says here that 61.88% AI generated. So your text is most likely AI generated. It does not say, or it doesn't say 100%. Okay, so it only says 61.88% AI generated content. So this highlighted part, these are the suspected part that is probably more or less generated by an AI. So the higher the number, the higher the probability that this particular submission is or generated by an AI. So that's Zero GPT. So that's basically the name of the platform. It says here, Zero GPT. Again, this is a tool that is made specifically to detect content, text content generated by AI, like ChatGPT, GPT-3, GPT-4, so those kinds of AIs. Let me go back to our classroom and see if we now have a result. Okay. So if you'll notice, in terms of similarity, di ba, we are familiar with how Turnitin works. We have two systems. We have the similarity checker and we have the AI detection tool. Okay, for a while. Sorry for that. Okay. So this part is the similarity checker. So it says here that, of course, AI generated content, particularly text generated content from AI, these are unique. So if you'll notice, in terms of similarity, it only says 5%. So more or less, part of the submission, or part of the submission of the student, like for example this one, matches a certain web, or a certain content in the web, but that's a very minimal number, 5% only. So you would think that, okay, this is unique creation of the student, unique submission. But if you look at the AI content, it says here 100%. So meaning, Turnitin system detects that this particular submission is generated entirely by AI. So if we're gonna click this one, so here it says here in the upper right side that 100% how much of the submission has been generated by AI. The system, Turnitin system, detects that this particular submission is 100% generated by AI, which is true, right? So this particular submission is 100% generated by AI. So this is just some of the things that we as teachers uh, can can help us filter out which submissions are generated by AI. Because if we ourselves know how to use these kinds of systems, our students, they know as well what are the different kinds of AI that can be used to create submissions like this, particularly text submissions. So there are a lot of generative AI. So this is just some of the platforms that can aid us in checking out. And then after this one, we can then create our feedback in the assignment with the given percentage of how much of this is generated by AI. We can then give feedback to our students with the assignment platform. So that's one way of creating some feedbacks in terms of submission. We also have another one, which is just some statistics about the course and about the activities as well. So, but before we go down, before we proceed to the next topic, any question in terms of detecting AI generated content, particularly text generated content? Chat. So, what's good about Turnitin is it's built into our learning management system. So there's no need for us to manually copy and paste the submission. What we're going to do is just basically wait for the system to process the submission and then check the result. If the lower the number, the better. Because if it's a higher number, it means that this particular submission more or less has a higher probability that it's generated by AI. Okay. And then I think I read some question earlier about some of the downside of ChatGPT. So uh, an FYI, we also have um, this is another AI. It's Bard. So basically, Bard is an AI developed by Google. So Bard actually works the same, or they are not the same in terms of the data that was being used to train them, because Bard can access real-time information, while ChatGPT, particularly the free one, which is 3.5, the one on my right side, the data from ChatGPT 3.5 is only up until January of 2022, while the data that can be accessed by Bard is real time. So Bard can access real time data in the web, while ChatGPT 3.5, to be exact, has a limited data up until January of 2022. So you can also use this one. Sad to say, for our SU email account, we are not allowed to access Bard. I tried it earlier. It's not working with our SU email account, so probably the admin needs to activate it pa. But using any other accounts aside from SU, you can then use Bard. So more or less, they are the same. That you can converse with them. You can ask them how to create assessment. You can ask them how to you can ask them to create rubrics. You can grade or you can rate submissions with a current rubric that was given to the system. So in terms of functionality, they're just the same, but in terms of the number of data, I mean the data that they can access. So ChatGPT 3.5 is limited up until January 2022, while Bard is a real-time AI in terms of data. Sige. So the next thing that I'm going to show you, just to have a clear background of what is going on to our virtual classroom, no, I'm going to show you some of the statistics that we can generate or that we can look into our virtual classroom. So let me just go back here. Okay. So I'm pretty sure by now you are very much familiar with, I'm not sure if you are familiar with IntelliBoard, so probably you have heard about it. So IntelliBoard is a data analytics platform that we actually subscribe to it so that we can have data generated from our learning management system. So as a teacher, you also have an access to IntelliBoard so that you can have an overview of what is happening to your course. So by that, I'm only talking about the courses in our learning management system. Now, everything that is happening inside your virtual classroom. So here, as in your personal menu page, to go to your instructor dashboard, you actually have this here. It says IntelliBoard, and then you have the learner dashboard, you have instructor dashboard, and competency dashboard. So you just have to go to instructor dashboard. And then from here, you can then see some of the highlights of your course. So currently, it's loading some of the graphs here. It will display all courses, but if you want to specify a particular course, like for example, in this one, I'm just going to specify, or I'm just gonna log in with my teacher account so that so that you can see the difference. Okay. Okay, so this one, this is a sample class. It says here PT12F, and then current progress, it says 0, learners incomplete, and then learner average grade is 78. So, these are the running stats of your virtual classroom. And then if you click here, these are your list of virtual classrooms that you are assigned as a teacher. Let me just click OK on this. It would take time to update. Then here you have the correlations. If you want to look at the correlations of your class, I would not be discussing each individual item, no, especially because I'm not a math major or a statistician, but I'm just showing you that there are these kinds of report that you can look into so that you would know what's happening in your course. Then you have here the learner engagement. You even have the average number of visits, average number of time spent for each student in your virtual classroom. So later on, we're going to visit that page. And for this one, event utilizations, which events, top 2 events that are highly utilized in your VC, like for example, in mine, quizzes and forums. So those are events that are highly utilized in my VC. Now, in terms of activity utilization, let's wait, it's still loading. It would generate the top activities that are highly utilized in your VC or in your course. So it would take some time to load because these results are taken from another platform, and then it would be displayed here. There, it says here that one of the most utilized activity in my classroom is the this is a form, a post-patient form. It's basically a forum. The students are gonna post their. We have an activity, and then they will post it there. So that one, and then another one is the prelim exam. So those are the activity that's highly utilized in my VC. Now, in terms of topic, so these are the topics that are highly utilized in my VC. This topic 4 and assessment. So I have a particular section in my VC named assessment, and those are the highly utilized topics in my VC. So by just looking at the numbers here, you would know how engaged the students are in your virtual classroom. And then also for this one, you can look at the grades, a grade summary of your activities. Like for example, this is a quiz, a unit test. This one is the prelim exam. This one is the attendance. So you would know by just one glance. This is basically a summary of all your activities and all the grades, all the average grade of those activities in your VC. So you can access it again in your personal menu page here, and then instructor dashboard. So let's go down to courses. As what I've said, you can also view um, the number of visits, the average number of time spent. So if you want to know the average number of time spent for each student in your VC, you can actually see it from there. So I'm clicking it now. It's still loading. There. So here, like for example, this is my course PT12F. And then you can see that the time spent, the total time spent is this one, and then the average visits per student, and then the average time spent per student is this one. So those are some of the statistics, the analytics that you can actually view so that you will have a grasp of what is happening in your course, particularly if most of it are asynchronous activities. So let me just go back to my courses here. Okay, and then another one in terms of statistics is this. Do you have the psychometric analysis of the quiz? So this is part of the feedback that you will have the psychometric analysis of your quiz. So like for example, this one, I will go to my, let's just say this one, a unit test, okay? And then if you want to know the analysis, psychometric analysis of this particular quiz, you can just go to the settings of the quiz and you have results. And then you can go to statistics. So it would take some time to load because it's now calculating the statistics for this particular quiz. Okay. So with this, you can actually see which items probably needs to be updated, which items are good, and things like that. So it basically calculates the analysis of the quiz per item. Let's wait for it to load. It would take some time. Okay, it's almost there. Okay. Okay, so this is the result of the quiz. No. So it says here that this is the quiz name. That's the quiz that I want to analyze. And then you now have these numbers. Like you have the median for that particular quiz, the standard deviation, the skewness, the kurtosis, and other statistical numbers that you can analyze so that it would help you probably update your items or your quiz. So you also have it here, coefficient of internal consistency and other things. Again, as what I've said, I will not be discussing this line per line because I'm not a statistician. I don't have I only have limited knowledge when it comes to statistics. But then again, I'm just showing you this so that you can go ahead and try to interpret these numbers and then made some changes on your quiz. So this one, who among you here have tried using the quiz result statistics? So you can try this and then you can check each item. For example, for the discrimination index, the lower the number, so probably you need to change that particular item. So yeah, this is just a browsing of what are the different feedbacks or available uh, plugins or reports that are available in our virtual classroom so that we can create a comprehensive feedback to our students. What is happening inside our VC, down to the very item of this particular quiz. Okay. Sige. So if you have time, you can go ahead and open your courses, your quizzes, and then you can visit your quiz statistics and check the statistics of your quizzes. Okay. So the last item that I'm going to discuss today, I'm pretty sure you are very familiar with PLD. So basically, PLD is anchored on AI. No, it's basically personalized learning designer, and our feedback is personalized and it's automatic. It depends on how you set it up. So previously we talked about how to detect AI generated content and then what are the the data analysis report that is available in our virtual classroom so that we will have a glimpse of what is happening in our virtual classroom and maybe anchored our feedback based on that analysis of what is happening in your VC. And then lastly we will have this PLD. So again, PLD is just a a an automatic feedback that can be generated inside our virtual classroom. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you a quick demonstration. Again, I'm pretty sure you are familiar with what PLD is. We have been talking about this since what, from I think 2019, when we launched the new Soul. So I'm just gonna show you a quick demonstration of what a PLD, and then just to give you a glimpse, not a glimpse, but basically just a run through of how PLD works. So for those of you who are not familiar with PLD, again, PLD is just it looks like a feedback system, kumbaga. So you can actually create different scenarios, different conditions in your VC, and then the system will create the action for you. So I'll just log out and then log in with the other one. Sorry. Nawala laging there. Okay. Sorry, I think. Okay. Nawala na po. Saan naman? Oh, there you go. Am I audible? Brit, I'm back. Okay, sorry, I my internet connection. Okay, so PLD. Okay, let me just go back here, generative AI, and then just gonna create a PLD. So here, I would create a very simple one. Um, Remember earlier, we created an assignment, right? So we have this sample assignment. So what I would do right now is when a student uh, submitted a particular submission to the assignment, I would just display a prompt, a personalized prompt based on who submitted the assignment. So, okay, I'll update this one first. Activity completion, I would unlock this. I would set it to automatic. So activity as complete when the student make a submission. Okay. Okay, so that's it. And then I'm going to create a PLD. So from the settings, personalized learning designer, I'm going to add rule and then uh, just give it a name. Any name will do as long as it's related to your anything that would relate to your activity. So I would give this a name assignment one, and in the event activity is completed. So I would set it in such a way that when a student submits uh, a submission to this particular activity, then a prompt will be displayed. So activity completed, it will ask you what kind of activity. I will just select assignment and which particular assignment. Oh, I have three sample assignments. So I think I have to I have to rename this particular assignment now. I'll just rename this as sample assignment final. Okay. Okay, so I'll go back. Personalized learning designer. Add a rule. And then sample assignment. Okay. And then the event would be if the activity will be completed, it's an assignment, and this is that particular assignment final. Okay, that's the event. And then the condition will be, let's just say, um, yeah, there's no condition. We can actually for PLD, what's required is the event and action. So for the condition, it's actually optional. So if you want to have a condition, that's fine. If there's no condition, that's also fine. So in this case, I will not be using the conditions feature because there's no need for that. Okay. So because what I really just want to achieve is very simple lang. When a student submits an assignment, after immediately submitting the assignment, there's a pop-up message just to uh, just to display lang so that the students would know that his submission is successful. So select action type, it's just a display alert and then add. So what's good about PLD is we have these tokens. So siguro if you have been using PLD, you're very much familiar with how tokens work. Tokens are basically variables that you can use, you can insert in the different parts of your PLD. So for this part, this is a just an alert just to just to recognize that a submission has been made by this particular student. So I would just say hi and then the name of the student. The first name, you can have the first name, last name, you can have the complete name, but in this case, I will just be using the first name. So hi, and then thank you for your submission. So it's unique, it's personalized. So each student would have their name in that particular token in the alert text box. So for example, if student A will make the submission, the display alert after clicking the submit button would be, hi student A, thank you for your submissions. Right? For example, another student, let's just say student X would make a submission, then the display would be, hi student X, thank you for your submission. So I will just, if you want to run this action just once, then you can just check this box. But if you want this action to run on loop, or if every time that they made us they're going to click the submit button, then you can just uncheck this one. But if I think running this particular PLD once is enough, at least for this particular example. So that's it. And then I'm just gonna click save, and don't forget to click the save button of the PLD. Okay, so that's it. It's set. And then I will go back here. I will log in as a student, and I would check the PLD. I will just try to create a submission and check if the PLD will work. My courses, log out. So I will log in as a student. And then this is that classroom. So this is the sample assignment. And then if I'm going to add a submission, okay, any submission will do. This one, upload, and then save changes. That alert box should be visible once loading is complete. There you go. So if you'll notice, there's an automatic text box or pop-up box, and it says, "Hi Jade, thank you for your submission." So you can customize your prompt. It would depend on you what's your prompt is, and then you can just close this one as a student, and then you can go back. So in that way, submitting an assignment is more personalized now because their submission is recognized immediately after clicking the submission. So any question in terms of this particular feature? Siguro wala na sa PLD, no, because we're expert na in using PLD. How about AI detector tools or AI generated content detector? Okay, so we have here from Waddington. My concern about this is that plagiarized work is addressed in our student manual. What about AI generated work? Yeah. For that, ma'am, siguro I will just have to get back to you in terms of what is our, or what's the institution, what's our stand in this one. We will get back to you, ma'am, regarding that one, because as of today, I really don't have an idea pa about how this is being handled, especially in the student manual. Thank you, ma'am. My concern. Sige, any more question in terms of AI generated content? Sige, so if there's none, Sir Fred, I would give back the floor to Sir Fred.
Okay, thank you, Sir Jade. Okay, so I hope my screen is visible in your end. Okay, so in here, so we have the assessment and feedbacking using generative AI. So I want you to go to your virtual classroom, and then you go to this particular link. So I will just upload this one in the Zoom chat box. And then here, so that particular link will go directly to the account. Okay, your account in. Okay, so that link will go to this virtual classroom, the training faculty virtual classroom. I hope you can see now this particular virtual classroom. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see in your My Soul course dashboard this particular virtual classroom? So again, by visiting that link, so you will go directly to faculty training room. And then if you want to see the upscaling recorded videos, so you just simply click the upscaling recorded videos section. And then here we have the list of upscaling session that is good for this first semester. And then that is categorized into themes like generative artificial intelligence. So we have 4 upscaling sessions for that one. And then we have My Soul upgrades. So we have 2. And then we have responsible use of technology. We have 2. So to get your certificate of attendance, all you need to do is just go to download certificates. And then for our current upskilling certificate, so this is about assessment and feedbacking using generative AI. So all you need to do is just simply answer the survey questionnaire about the training or the upskilling session for this afternoon. And then once you are done, then you can get your certificate of attendance. Okay, so at this point, I will just share my screen first. Okay, so please take note also, we have here, that is the upscaling session for the first semester. So that's the link. So that is also located in the faculty training room. And then here we have our contact information. So you can like our Facebook page. And then we have our YouTube channel. This is the videos. Uh, Before we will go to this contact information, Ma'am Mayet, Ma'am, are you enrolled in the faculty training room? Okay. Can you give us your, if you have your MySoul account already, Ma'am Mayet, so that we can enroll you to the faculty training room so that you can evaluate this particular upscaling session? Okay. S- So later is we will just give you the instructions how to. Okay, this is your first time. Okay, so are you a new faculty, Ma'am Mayet? Can you give us you direct message your email address so that we can give you the full content or instructions in how to get your certificate of attendance. So you just simply direct message me your email address so that we can assist you in getting your certificate of attendance. Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, Mama Yet. So we will, okay. So we will give you instructions in how to get your certificate later. So again, you can back to the contact information. You can contact us in 4201901 local 417. And then if you have departmental upscaling requests, so you can email us in soul@su.edu.ph. And then here at this point, so I mean, I request to have a photo opportunity. So may I request if your video camera, okay, Sir Steve, uh, ah, Sir Brittany, okay, can you do the honor in taking the pictures?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. If your connectivity lets you, please turn on your camera. Okay, please give me your best smile. One, two, three. Smile.
Okay, thank you, Sir Britt. So again, thank you for spending your valuable time with us in this upscaling session. So we have our upcoming upskilling session. This is a Friday, Saturday. This is intended for our students. Okay, this is open for all, and particularly we are advocating fighting information disorder on social media. So again, this is also found in the upscaling list. Okay, so I will just share the screen to you. So here, so we have here the November 11, 2023. So we have fighting information disorder intended for students. This is fighting information disorder on social media. This is online. So 2 to 4 p.m. So again, thank you very much for spending your time with us with this upscaling on assessment and feedbacking using generative AI. So again, don't worry because your certificate of attendance will automatically generated if you answer the online survey. And then for those participants who have not accessed their account or virtual classroom, we will give you a full details. We will just send you the confirmation. Thank you very much again for spending your time with us this afternoon. Thank you.